Darby, you asked a killer question. Get ready, because there's quite the answer. Darby just asked, what tools informed your inner child and core values work? Okay, context. In the webinar, I talked about the fact that self-connection for me and connection to others, one of the key elements to it for me and the work I've needed to do to be better at self-connection and then connection with others was some inner child and core values work. And when I say core values work, what I mean by that is, who am I at my core, this soul of mine that I stepped onto earth with, that had some core values and core needs and core desires and a core purpose, and identifying those and then aligning my life with them. And boy, when I do, everything is better. I'm not constantly grading up against what isn't really me or meant for me. Okay. So that's the context within which Darby asked this question. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have been working hard at this the last few years, and it's a labor of love, but this has been work I've been deep into. So I'm about to tell you a whole lot of stuff, but maybe some of it's going to speak to someone and be useful. Countless errors too. I've made a lot of mistakes and errors, and I'm learning that they are my teaching tools. I'm sitting at the feet of my mistakes. So that was a Freudian slip or something, but it was clearly meant to be said. I'm sitting at the feet of what I consider failures or mistakes. I'm putting my air quotes up. They're not. They're simply things that were there to teach me something and guide me down a different direction or a different path, or to shape me. So there's that. Countless hours of prayer and meditation and conversation with other people I trust who are total deep learners and thinkers who want to flesh things out and want to grow and change and not just stay in status quo. That's been big. A lot of reading, lot of listening to other people teach, podcasts, journaling, sitting in silence, walking. But here's some real specifics. I did what's called the Unblocked Inner Child coursework through the TBM platform. That's been huge for me. TBM is called tobemagnetic.com. I give you guys it in the resource list. I've learned a lot from Kathy Heller's offerings. She has a number of offerings. Kathy spelled with a C, Kathy Heller. I have been doing more therapeutic work, and in therapy space, there's something called parts work and internal family systems. I've been learning more about that to connect to self and to get to my core values in the first place. I did something that's unconventional and fairly new on the scene, but it has been incredibly helpful to me. It is not for everyone, but I pursued ketamine-assisted psychotherapy through a beautiful clinic called the Shaw Minds Healing Center in Sacramento. Ketamine is legal psychedelic that, when in a supervised setting and with the supervision of an MD or an RN, can be very, very supportive in quieting that conscious mind and tapping you into your unconscious mind. And unconscious mind is where I've done a lot of work and rewiring and reprogramming, so to speak. And that's been hugely, hugely supportive to me. I got coached in and learned about my human design. Human design is another modality. That was with Stacey Rowan. She is fantastic. And there's a lot of human design practitioners who basically can tell you a lot more about you at your essence. That's been huge for this work for me. Learning about my wiring through the study of the Enneagram, that was another one. I'm really one of those learners. I love to take apart and understand myself and others better. And so I eat this kind of stuff up. I really do. So Enneagram work with Suzanne Stabile. She's fantastic. She has a website. She's the preeminent when it comes to Enneagram. The work of Dr. Becky Kennedy. She is fantastic with regard to parenting, but my kids are grown. I need to reparent myself sometimes. And I am finding this kinder, gentler way, this very human, connection-oriented approach to parenting has taught me so much for myself. So that to me is a huge one. And then any writing or interviews of Elizabeth Gilbert, She's an author of, you probably all know her from Eat, Pray, Love, but she has a whole host of books. She had a podcast called Magic Lessons. She's been on tons of other podcasts and interviews. You can find her on Substack and read her stuff. She's fantastic. I loved her book, Big Magic. I read that last year. It's an older book of hers. That was huge for me this year and kind of that inner work that I'm doing. And, Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed. A lot of you probably heard that. It's a major bestseller over the last few years, came out during the pandemic. That's been a massive help to me in this work, in kind of connecting. I would say it's caused me to look inward, ask questions of myself, and sit more gently with them and not prejudge things so quickly, others or myself. And her podcast, off the chart. It's just so darn good. So I would say those are the ones. I'm looking at my list here. I literally made you a list, Darby, because there's that much. I don't even think that's all of it, but I reference a lot in the resource list too of books and resources. So, oh man, run with that one. I love your question. Thank you.